All right, welcome in, welcome in. It is Main Event Fantasy, and it's time again. My name is Nick, aka Perfect 216, and thanks for coming by. I appreciate it very much. It is a little bit more dim tonight. I'm feeling cooler than the other side of the pillow. You know what I mean? Because we feel good about our drafts, and we're gonna have a cool, calm stream. That's what I think. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe for me. We are doing best ball drafts live on Underdog Fantasy, which I'll talk about in just 1 second. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe go a long way. We do go live every night between 9 p.m. and midnight, almost every night. I can't say every night. I've missed a couple. I'm not perfect. I mean, I am perfect because that's what it says in my name, but I'm not perfect. But we are going to go ahead and get ourselves into a draft. So Underdog Fantasy is the name of the place we're drafting. And if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, this is best ball drafting. It is my favorite way to draft. I've been drafting here for the last 4 years, in addition to all my other types of leagues. But best ball drafts are no time commitment during the season, no waiver wires, no trades. You draft your teams, and the best players play every week like normal. And there are some major contests, a lot of money to win, and it is a ton of fun. And it also helps prepare you best for your regular home leagues that I know many of you have already drafted or are coming up. And I'm hoping we can help you with those. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat, throw them in the comments, drop a comment. I'm happy to help you with sit, start, trades, anything you want during the season. I'm here for you. So just very, very grateful to have you guys here and looking forward to tonight. So what are we getting into? We are going to do Best Ball Mania tonight. We're going to rip at least 3 drafts, and I've got 18 more of these. So real quick, Best Ball Mania is the largest contest on all of fantasy football with $2 million to first place. There will be 672,672 entrants, $25 entry fee. $2 million to second, $1 million to first place, 504,000 to third, and so on. Even if you got 112,000, 112th place, you still get your money back. How it works is you are in a pod with other folks, and if you make it through that pod for weeks 1 through 14, whoever the highest scorers are will advance to week 15 in the quarterfinals. And if you get out of that pod, then in the semifinals, week 16, if you get out of that pod, you get into week 17 for a championship. That is how it works on Underdog. In this particular tournament, top 2 advance in weeks 1 through 14. Then the top score in week 15 out of 13 teams. Then the top score in week 16, and so on. So ask me if you have any questions, but we are going to jump in right now. So if you're in here with us, I'm going in, and we'd love to have you draft with us live. There are 9 spots open in this draft, and they do fill fast. So looking forward to having everybody here. If you don't know how to get to Underdog Fantasy, there is a link in the description of all my videos. Please click on the link. I'm begging you. Don't lose out on this. If you use my promo code Perfect216, you will get a 50% deposit bonus on your first deposit, all the way up to $1,000. So if you deposit $100, you're getting $50 for free added to your account. If you deposit $500, you get $250 for free added to your account. So please don't give up free money. Please use the promo code Perfect216 and come draft with us, or just draft with yourself. Have a good time. Real quick, if you are new, there is a map right here. Any state that is yellow on the map are states where Underdog is available for you to play. It also has prop betting and other types of betting that you can do, just like you do on sites like FanDuel, etc. So as long as you meet the age requirements and you live in one of these states, you can draft on Underdog Fantasy. So we're looking forward to having everybody here. Now that we got the fun stuff out of the way, we have pick 12. This draft has started, and got 18 more of these I can do. So we're going to do 3 tonight. Once we complete these 18 before the draft fills, we are kind of on watch. We got to make sure we don't miss out here. I don't want it to close before I finish, but 150 teams is the max in Best Ball Mania, and I will max draft this for the 2nd year in a row. If you're watching this video for the first time, what you're seeing on the screen is going across as people draft their picks. In the middle, there's ADP, average draft position. That is the average draft where someone gets picked, and it goes in order. I also have inputted my rankings here, so you can see how I value a player over the average position of the market. And so if I don't have a value, an ADP coming to me, I will let the tiebreaker of my rank break that tie on the value. So I hope that helps you. In best ball, you can start 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and 1 flex. Flex is not the quarterback unless you're in a super flex tournament, and this is not. And then you have 10 bench players. So, generally speaking, you only want 2 or 3 quarterbacks on your team because you can only start 1 every week. You only want 2 or 3 tight ends on your team, probably 5 to 6 running backs, and 7 to 8 wide receivers. That's kind of the general rule. You get 18 picks when you do all these underdog drafts. All right, we are about to be up at pick 12. And I'm going to do some interesting things tonight. I've been pretty adamant about where I want to go, and I'm going to continue to go that route. We're going to go Ashton Jeanty and Devon Achane. We're going to go back-to-back running backs. That draft strategy of back-to-back running backs is called the double anchor running back strategy, or double anchor RB, depending on what folks have called it, or double hero running back is another term you might hear. And that's where we draft 2 early in the first couple of rounds, and then we don't touch running back for a while. And we're counting on these guys to lead the way because we have to start 2 running backs every week. And when we draft these guys high, we're counting on them to be the 2. We can use a 3rd every week because you can use it. A flex player each week could be another running back. There is some news. Bijan Robinson, I think, is starting to slide just a smidge in some drafts. And people are getting confused. Why is he moving? Well, the reason is the right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons is now officially out for the season. So why is that important? Well, he's really good. It's also important because Michael Penix, who is the quarterback for Atlanta, is a left-handed left-handed quarterback, which means his blind side is actually the right tackle versus the left. So that could impact him. And actually, if you look at Las Vegas lines, they have them ranked as just outside the bottom 10 offenses this year now. They were a middle offense. Once that injury was taken to effect, they actually lowered them noticeably. So that's why some people are moving Bijan down. They think it impacts his rushing. They impacts the overall offensive upside, having their good right tackle out for the season. Now, some people might say that that's not that big of a deal, and some might think it's huge. So to each his own. I will tell you that my opinion is I'm still perfectly fine taking him. I still have him taking him over Barkley and Gibbs, and I have it in that order. I have Robinson, Barkley, Gibbs, and the first 3 running backs of my drafts. And I don't plan to adjust that. Also, some news today, which if you did not hear this, Micah Parsons has been traded, finally, by the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers. It is official. They gave 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark I don't even know if that's enough, if I'm being honest, for Micah Parsons, but it's pretty solid. And they also gave him a contract extension, which makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL history. So $188 million contract for 4 years, over 4 years, and $120 million of that is fully guaranteed at signing. So he got paid. He's on the Packers, which are competing teams. So this tells me the Packers are all in, right? All right, ADP, we are up on the clock at pick 36. Well, we know we went running backs, so we know that means we better do some work at wide receiver at this point. So we're going to grab Garrett Wilson. And I'm going to grab we'll just take what's here for now, I guess. We'll take Davante Adams. We'll just take the top 2 on the board. I almost scrolled down to get another share of Xavier Worthy, was what I was really looking at, guys. And then I considered Terry McLaurin, but then I thought better of it. So we started out Ashton Jeanty, Devon Achane, Garrett Wilson, Davante Adams is our start here with our first 4 picks. Not a bad way to start. Feel good about it. And me personally, this year more than any year in the last couple that I can recall, I really like to do the double anchor running back start. Single anchor or hero running back is my favorite in most years when I don't get, that wide receiver start in the first round. But there's more running backs pushed up into the first 4 rounds this year than there has been in the past few years, significantly more. And so it's not as much of a wide receiver avalanche. So you can get a lot more talented wide receivers in rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 than I think you could last year, where the drop-off really was in like the end of round 4 into 5 because there weren't as many running backs taken. So I personally like getting 2 running backs early and then punting running back for a while, ripping off 4 or 5 straight wide receivers, and then getting into, mixing up maybe a 3rd running back or getting to tight ends, quarterbacks, etc. So kind of feels nice. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. I know tomorrow's Friday. So if you're having a rough week, we're here for you. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a fantastic Friday because, listen, football season is almost here. So if you're watching this, you love fantasy football, you love football, you love betting, and apparently you're enjoying our content right here on Main Event Fantasy. And that means the weekend's coming, my friend. My weekend is coming. And that's a good sign for everybody. Rice off the board at 51. I still think that's a little too early for Rice. So it was announced that Rice is going to he made a deal with the league that Rashee Rice is going to take a 6-week suspension the first 6 weeks of the season. So he'll be out weeks 1 through 6, and he'll be back on week 7. That is the deal that he made with the league. At least we now have clarity on that. So as you draft him, you know what he's going to be out. The good news on that, though, is the last time there was a discussion, he wasn't going to hear about where he was going to be drafted. Where he's going to be suspended until week 4 or week 5 of the season. So that means he could have been missing the middle or end of the season, and that scared people because if it was more than 6 games that they suspended him, you could miss the fantasy football playoffs potentially, and that would be a problem. So, but this entire time, I assumed he was going to get 6 weeks, and that's exactly what he got. Jalen Hurts off the board at 56. I was really hoping he would slide on down to us at 60. That would have been kind of fun, but that's okay. Let's see what happens at 60. We're definitely going to go ahead and take double wide receivers again here. And there's plenty of options I like. I was kind of hoping Ibuka would come back, but that's okay. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to just take the top two off the board again. We're going to get Travis Hunter and Ricky Pearsall. Sticky Ricky is a guy I really, really like this year. I think he's going to be the highest scoring wide receiver in San Francisco this year. Y'all can quote me. If I'm wrong, it's fine. But I'm drafting him like he will be. And the 49ers have I think it's the second easiest strength of schedule this year. And so that means he could have a really breakout season. And I love guys that could break out, right? We don't know enough about Travis Hunter yet to know what he's going to do. And that's why rookies are valuable in best ball, because you want to draft guys that can exceed or outperform where they're being drafted. Devontae Adams could. It's a little less likely. We kind of know what we're going to get, and it's kind of baked in with him. But he could go a little bit higher. Garrett Wilson could absolutely still have a breakout year. I think it's a little less likely, but he could. Travis Hunter, we don't know. He's a rookie. It's completely unknown. And then Ricky Pearsall, I think, could be a breakout. And where he's going in the 6th round could absolutely be a 2nd-round type of guy, a true wide receiver 1 in San Francisco. And people forget, with Ricky Pearsall, he was a round 1 draft pick when he was drafted. He had gotten shot in his rookie year, missed some time, but he showed a lot of flashes, and people forget that he was that talented when he was drafted. And he did even have a week last year where he put up 28.7 fantasy points in week 17, which was the championship week of fantasy football, technically. And he was the 7th best wide receiver in terms of scoring that particular week. So he has shown he has that in his range of outcomes to be a top 10 wide receiver. And that's the kind of guy I want on my team. Somebody who we're not sure can do it all the way yet, but you got to take chances if you want to win these tournaments. And we want to win $2 million. I will tell you this. The first thing I'm doing, if I win $2 million, is paying off the hospital bills that they gave me last week from when my last son was born. That, and then probably helping my parents out. That would be the things I do first. All right. We are coming up on the clock with pick 84. I see some things that I like. See what Showtime does. All right, takes read. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Sam Slam Laporta as our tight end 1. Then we're going to go down here and grab my man Keon Coleman, another year 2 guy on a great offense. He's looked great in camp, bigger body guy, and I really think he could be an absolute smash this year. I was a little slow on him earlier in the year because of how he didn't show great last year. In terms of he seemed to be a little bit slow in getting the offense, but all the positive news out of camp and preseason has fired me up. And so sometimes you don't have to listen to that stuff. Sometimes it's just hype, and I get it, but I'm here for it. I thought he was a good talent coming out of the draft last year, and I thought he underwhelmed, which is why he's going here in round 8 and 9 this year. But again, if he overperforms, he could really, really smash for you. So he could. Baker Mayfield goes off the board at 92. Pairs him up with nobody. We need some more of these people to join our team. They need to get in the ring, get in the locker room right here at Main Event Fantasy, so we can sharpen their draft skills just a little bit more. You can't draft Baker Mayfield and not have any pass catchers. So my man better learn. He needs Cade Otton later. He needs somebody later. Is there anybody left? Actually, there is. Godwin's still here. So when he comes back on the board, he should take Chris Godwin, assuming he's still there. That is what an intelligent drafter would do. We will see how intelligent he wants to be. Speaking of intelligent drafters, if we get on the board in 10 picks and both of these quarterbacks, Fields and Purdy, are here, we will stack them appropriately with Garrett Wilson and Ricky Pearsall. That will be our plan. But if they're not there, we'll take one of them and we'll see what the rest of the draft gives us. Not a lot of running backs on the board. A lot of them been pulled off, and we love to see it because when we have double anchor running back, we're not really interested in getting another running back just yet, because later in drafts, there's this nice pocket coming up of basically it's quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends only through this little pocket of drafts where there's literally almost no no wide receivers available unless you reach. And so we want to take our next set of running backs there, and we do not want to take them here. Brock Purdy goes, so we will not be getting Mr. Purdy. And he went to the team with Christian McCaffrey. I guess that's it. That's his only correlation right now. But I guess he could come back later and maybe grab Brandon Ayuk, possibly. We'll see. So we could grab. I think I know what to do. Okay, never mind. Justin Fields gets sniped from us. So in this case, we will not take too many chances. We're going to get a quarterback on our team now. It will be Jared Goff, who will pair with Sam Laporta. And then in the meantime, we're also going to head and grab Travis Etienne as our third running back. Actually, let me see if I want to do that. Yeah, I do. And the reason we do that is I'm envisioning getting him stacked with Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence as our next quarterback. That is kind of now my adjusted plan based on the fact that both our quarterbacks there got sniped from us. And G. Blum here took him, but he does have Breece Hall. So there's a little bit of correlation on his team, but doesn't ideally make sense with what he just did. Not ideal. Let's see if there's any other news. The GM did say, by the way, speaking of Travis Hunter, that he is healthy and he's going to play in the season opener on September 7th against the Carolina Panthers. So that's good confirmation. So unless he stubs his toe on the way in, the general manager of the Texans was non-committal about whether Pro Bowl running back Joe Mixon would play at all in this upcoming season. So I was already light on Joe Mixon all year long. Then the injury stuff came, and then I was still light on him. Then we got a little bit more news. He fell in drafts, and I took pieces of him, a little bit, not a lot, when he was falling down draft boards, when he was a really good value, assuming maybe he'd only miss 4 weeks, let's just say. Then they said he was going to miss 8 weeks maybe, and I stopped drafting him again, which I was pretty much off of him anyway. And now they're talking about, well, he's definitely going to miss 4, but we're not even sure if he's going to play the whole season. At all this year. So that's the kind of guy I don't want to draft. And we'll see where he goes. He went here at 122 to Bearchild. It doesn't make any sense to me. I get it. You can take a little shot at him in round 11 if you really want. This is about the range where I guess he could go, but I would still push him down. Like, I'd rather have Rhamondre Stevenson, Braylon Allen, Trey Benson, Austin Eckler, Ray Davis. I'd rather have all these guys. Like, I would put Joe Mixon down here below Nick Chubb even. Like, I'd put him here. Joe Mixon belongs in the Najee Harris, Tajay Spears. My leg hurts, my butt hurts, my eye hurts. I shot myself in the eye. That group of players. That's where they need to go. That's where he needs to be. So when he falls down there at like ADP of like 150, then I'll talk to him. All right. So we're coming back on the clock. We know we want Trevor Lawrence here at 132. Let's hope Showtime doesn't snipe him from us. And he'll end up being our second quarterback to pair up with Travis Hunter and Travis Etienne. And then, like I said earlier, there's not a whole lot of wide receiver talent coming back in the near future. So, and he took Trevor Lawrence. That's a little frustrating. We're going to have to make something happen here. So I'm going to pivot my strategy. No, I'm not. I'm going to get Braylon Allen as our fourth running back. And then we will make man, oh man. I don't like this at all. We'll make CJ Stroud our second quarterback, and I've got a plan. We're going to make this work with CJ Stroud. We may even have an opportunity to turn this into a 3-quarterback build, and I'm okay with that too. But we will need some Houston players to stack with him, and there's a couple guys I like that come much later in the draft that we should be able to get, like Jalen Noel, and then we've got our man Dalton Schultz. So these two, I'm hoping I'll be able to double stack and turn that into the CJ Stroud double stack later. So we'll see how things come back to us, and we'll kind of take it from there. Fantasy Dog, welcome, my friend. I appreciate the hard work you do, my friend. You know what? You're a nice guy. Liking the team. Yeah, it's I know you're just getting in. Yeah, probably a third quarterback team. Absolutely. That's what I was leaning towards. The issue, we got a little bit sniped right before you got in here on quarterback, because right before I got to Jared Goff, I was going to take Fields and Brock Purdy. And the two guys right before me both took him, or they took both quarterbacks right before me. And neither of them had pass catchers that stacked with them, but they had their running backs and decided they were going to grab them anyway. So I kind of got blocked out there. And then right before our last pick, I was going to get Trevor Lawrence, and the guy before us sniped Trevor Lawrence. So I've been sniped 3 times on quarterback in this draft, and we're still going to make it work. But that's what we do. I will say that I am planning. I've come up with what I think is my final stretch strategy, and it's dependent on who I get in round 1 or what draft pick I get in round 1. And I'm pretty much locked in at this strategy for the rest of best ball drafting. And I really, really have committed that I like how these teams turn out when I do it. And I'll talk about it when I get to the next, after this draft is over. We can get in our next draft. I'll talk about it a little bit more. By the way, these, I'm not sponsored by Alani, but these little orange Alanis, kind of good. I kind of like them. I got sniped again. I was actually eyeing up Romeo Doubs there, but that's not going to happen. So moving on. All right, what are we going to do? We are we did not mean to get Noel so early. That was a mistake. I didn't click him quick enough. Actually, I'm going to. Sorry, I panic clicked. Guys. I panic clicked. Was not thinking. But, all right. So let's go through what we have so far and talk about what we're going to do for the rest of this draft. We got Jared Goff, CJ Stroud at quarterback, Ashton Genty, Devon Achane, Travis Etienne, Braylon Allen, Tyler Algier at running back. I love this running back room. Obsessed with it. This is the type of room I want. I only want 5 running backs, and this is what I want it to look like. Double anchor, pass catching guys with upside and a strong handcuff guy where if like Bijan goes down, Algier could be breakout. Like this is the type of room I like. Wide receiver, we have Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Travis Hunter, Ricky Pearsall, Keon Coleman, Jalen Noel, Sam Laporta at tight end. We did stack Sam Laporta with Jared Goff, and so far we've got our man Jalen Noel or Noel. Could someone tell me if it's Noel or Noel? Is it Noel or Noel? Help me out. H. Brio, help a brother out. No, definitely not alcohol. I wouldn't do that on a stream. It's an energy drink, and it's actually like it's like a healthier energy drink, if there is such a thing, because it's got 0 sugar in it, and it's only 10 calories. So it's and it's actually pretty tasty. It's not like a lot of other it's not like a lot of other energy drinks. It's actually got flavor and doesn't taste like flat or anything. It's got, I don't know, pretty good carbonation to it. I don't know. I like it. It's pretty good. My church, I had it at my church one time that they had it like sometimes when you go in the morning in church, they'll have like coffee and water and whatever. And they had these Alani drinks. And I was like, oh, well, I'm tired and I didn't want coffee. And I tried it. I'm like, this is pretty good. And then you said, everybody says 2 syllables. So Noel or versus Noel. So you think it's Noel, like Christmas time is what you're saying. All right. What am I doing here? I am gonna get Matt Stafford and be a 3 quarterback build. Assuming Matt Stafford is still here. Who knows? Might get sniped on him, right? I'm getting more and more Troy Franklin, by the way. I felt good about him, and I've been kind of picking him up in round 18. And I lost Stafford too. You people. All right. And we're just going to leave this at a 2 quarterback build because there's no other quarterbacks that I want to mess with at this point. So we're going to get Troy Franklin as a wide receiver 7. And then we're going to get, we're going to grab us a tight end here. I'm just going to throw Likely on the team. And then when we come back here, we're going to try and get Dalton Schultz. And maybe we'll get a, let's see. Look at the Lions. Tesla is already gone, but you know what? Interesting. Did I miss news? What happened to what's his name? Tim Patrick. He got traded to Jacksonville. Why did I miss this? Wow. I did not see that. All right. Shame on me. I normally catch all these little things, these moves, but shame on me. I did not see that. I mean, is Khalif Raymond going to catch anything at all? I don't feel good about it. I mean, I would have got Tesla or whatever his name is, but I don't feel good about that anymore. Wow, that's a little rough. It's a little rough. Tesla ADP jump big. Yeah, I agree. And I get it. Like I would move him, like I'm gonna move him up my rankings, and I didn't take almost any of them. I might have Tesla like twice out of 600 teams, seriously. So I may throw him in some Detroit teams now at the last minute just to say he's there, but I'm not gonna draft him in like, oh, let's pull him up to round 13. No, not gonna happen. But if he's hanging around 16, 17, 18 range, I may stumble into having him on my team. Like if I had a Seattle player, like this is where I'd be like, all right, you know what? I've got risk. I've got open opportunity. I could just take like Jalen Milroe and throw him on the team, but I don't have a Seattle player. And without a pass catcher, it just doesn't make any sense. So we will just take somebody. I know this is supposed to be like get your guy season, right? At the end of these drafts, everyone's like, okay, get your guy before they're all gone. Get Dalton Schultz. And then Detroit, Houston. Wow, there's nobody there that we're going to get, but totally missed that. You guys saw it. I accidentally drafted a 6 running back when I tried to click on Ichibash. Look, shame on me. This is our first one tonight. Shame on me for, that's twice I've done that tonight. I need to focus. But I will say this, I guess if Achane goes down, I've got his backup. So I guess that's all we needed. So, all right, recapping the team, 2-6-7-3 build, Jared Goff, Cedar Stroud at quarterback, running back, Ashton Genty, Devon Achane, Travis Etienne, Braylon Allen, Tyler Algier, Jalen Wright. Wide receiver, we have Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Travis Hunter, Ricky Pearsall, Keon Coleman, Jalen Noel, Troy Franklin. At tight end, we have Sam Laporta, Isaiah Likely, and Dalton Schultz. I actually really, really like this team. The only real mistake I made was with that last pick there. It should have been a wide receiver, not a 6 running back. And I would have actually preferred this to be a 3 quarterback build, but we got sniped on some. But we made it work, and it still can work out pretty good. So not the end of the world. Who knows? We'll see if it pans out. All right, so we got 17 more. 17 more. We're going to keep on going. So if you want to get in with me, I'll give you a quick 5-second countdown if you're interested in getting into another Best Ball Mania. I'm joining in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're in. 2 more spots open in the draft. 1 more before it fills. I'm feeling good, though. At the 10, this is perfect to kind of go through the strategy that I was just talking about. Very similar mindset to my last draft. So my new approach to the draft, if I get in the first round Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, or Justin Jefferson, or Malik Neighbors, my draft strategy will change. But if I don't have any of those other 4, then my first 2 picks will be running backs. If I get one of those 2 guys or those guys, most likely my first pick will be one of those wide receivers. The second one will be a running back. The third one might be a running back, and then picks 4, 5, and 6 will be wide receiver. My goal is going to be to leave drafts when you get through 7 rounds to have 2 running backs that are anchors of some kind and 5 wide receivers. I will pivot if a elite quarterback falls. I will not grab an elite tight end for the rest of my drafts unless they fall drastically. And I will punt tight end for the most part. That is my new plan. That is my new plan. I thought for a second there I saw Tank Bigsby go in the first round. I was about to have a heart attack. My eyes were playing tricks on me. Whew, just got the chills. There's an air vent right above my head, and it's chilly. Okay. I did say I would go Malik Neighbors as one of the 4 options. So we'll grab him. And then the goal on the way back will be to grab one of these 2. Whoops. Fine gentlemen. If these guys are gone, then it would be A.J. Brown. If all 3 were gone, then it would be Brian Thomas. We'll see what happens. All right, we're on the clock. And we're going to get Genty. I'm sorry, Devon Achane. I said Genty. There's been so much going on with the running backs in this offseason, but I'm really basing my strategy more on where the drafts how the drafts have changed and where players go. Because what I'm finding is if I don't get enough wide receivers early enough and I end up having to get if I don't get 2 running backs early, then I find myself grabbing other running backs in the middle rounds, like 4, 5, and 6, where I actually prefer wide receivers. And then if I get too many running backs there, when you get to picks around 9, 10, 11, 12, it's a dead zone for wide receivers. It's all running backs, quarterbacks, and tight ends. So then I'm reaching on wide receivers if I don't get enough of them. So that's why I've adjusted the way I've adjusted. So I'm going to continue to draft that way from now until the end of this. So, and not just in Best Ball Mania. I'm going to do that in every single draft tournament that I do. That is the new strategy. And at least that's for Best Ball. I do think that it could change slightly for home leagues, depending on what your league mates do. Fun fact, my birthday's coming up on August 31st, so that'll be fun. And that night is the night, or that day I have 3 of my home leagues being drafted, and then we've got poker night with the guys. So should be a fun evening planned. And then I'm going to a concert on Saturday night. So that's going to be fun. All right, what do we got coming down here at 34? I see what I want to do. We'll see if it happens. See what It Sleds wants to do here. All right. I was going to take Kyron Williams there, but now I've got to pivot because I don't have any more running backs that I like where they go. So this is where we're going to go ahead and make a move. And we're going to do Jaden Daniels. And then we're going to come back around and get Terry McLaurin, and we're going to change. So if I don't, like, that's where my cutoff is. If I don't get Kyren Williams as my, or if I don't get Kyren Williams and anybody else before that as the 2 running backs in those first couple of rounds, that won't, then I have to pivot, and I'm stuck on anchor running back at that point. And I'll go ahead and get into these elite quarterbacks. So now we're going to go Jaden Daniels stacked up with Terry McLaurin, Malik Neighbors, Devon Achane. That's our start. That is our start. We will make it work. And I've been thinking more and more about this with the running backs, in particular with James Cook. James Cook, if you really like, let me pull it up for myself so I can talk through this with you guys. When I looked at what he did last year and I looked a little bit deeper, he was really, really good last year. Finishes the number 8 running back, and that's why he's being drafted where he's drafted, and rightfully so. And he only had a 49% snap share. But here's the thing. He had 16 rushing touchdowns, and that's like an anomaly, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to have 16 rushing touchdowns this year. I just don't see it. And his receiving work last year got cut in half. And that's a problem, because if this guy only had 7 rushing touchdowns or 8 rushing touchdowns, let's say he has half, which is coming back down to earth. And if his snap share is only 50% and he's getting Ray Davis is getting more work and he's not getting as much of the receiving work because they throw more, I mean, he's going to be a terrible pick. He's going to be an absolutely terrible pick. And so because of that, I've completely been turned off on, not completely, but I'm very much turned off on him now, because I think that my read on him is that he's not going to repeat what he did last year. And that means he's going to be drafted at a ceiling. And y'all know, I want to draft guys that can exceed their ceiling. Shamrock, hey, buddy. How are you? Thanks for coming in tonight. Hopefully you're having a good Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. If y'all are sweating for the weekend, it's almost here. And it should be a nice long weekend, hopefully for most people. I have a 3-day weekend planned for sure. All right. We are going to grab Zay Flowers as our next wide receiver. And then we're going to double stack Washington. We have Terry McLaurin and Debo both stacked with Jaden Daniels now, and that feels fantastic. So we got Jaden Daniels double stacked, Malik Neighbors, Zay Flowers, and Devon Achane at the running back position. I like it. Feels nice. Feels nice. Shamrock said, how many more BBM draft do you have left? So this is, I had 7. I started tonight with 18 left. Did one already. This is, then I was down to 17. I'm doing it now. So I guess after this, I have 16 more Best Ball Mania drafts that I can do. I am going to, so if y'all, I'm going to try and plan this out. If Underdog has a large entry fee draft left between now and the start of the season, like let me look real quick. I'm gonna pop out just for a second. Oops. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? NFL. So like the Mastiff here, right? I may do one of these before the season starts. If they pop up a 500 or they pop up a 250 or something like that, I may do one of these and would love to try and plan that out and have you guys be on the stream with me when I do it. That would be kind of fun. So I guess let's talk this out. And the problem with this is like, you don't know when it's going to be able to be drafted because you got to have enough people in it to play. So like, I almost would have to get in the room now and hope it starts at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may not even be a guarantee that I can do it right live because may not be enough people, and who knows when it fills. So. You said you're there, but you ain't chatting focus. Yeah, listen, no, we got to chat. We got to make it fun. But yeah, I would totally do that. I'm actually hoping they do like another, single entry, like 250 or 200 or 5 or something like that at the end. But we'll see. But I definitely think I'll do one of those right at the last minute. All right, we're about to be on the clock. I keep falling into Sam Laporta teams lately, but I'm going to do this instead. I want Keon Coleman on more teams, so I'm going to reach for him, and then we're going to see who comes back, and we'll play it that way. By the way, I've kind of also I'm making some more stands on players right now that may not show up in my rankings, but I'm just mentally I've already made a decision on, and I'm kind of gonna stay that way. And so, sorry, we'll take Jaylen Warren 87. I'm making more stands on some players, so I am not going to draft Aaron Jones anymore for the rest of this year unless he falls drastically. He again, when you really look into his statistics, he's falling off a cliff over the last 2 years in just about every category. And then they went out and signed for a $10 million deal. They signed, we'll call it his backup, but it's not really his backup when you consider that Mason may end up overtake the job. I don't know what else to say. And so I like Mason. And so if I'm around that pick and it's between Mason and Aaron Jones, I'm going to take Mason. So I'm out on Aaron Jones now. I'm out on him. And it does, and here's the thing, I have a soft spot for players that I've seen over the years that I really think are good human beings. Like Jaden Daniels looks like an awesome guy, right? Like I want to go hang out with this guy, not because he's cool, but I'm talking about just who he is as a person. Aaron Jones has always been that guy to me. When he was on the Packers, I loved his talent, loved everything about him, but his attitude, his demeanor, the way he, I don't know him off the field, but just there were signs that he was just a really good person. And, I like to be on board with people that are just, I don't know, he's a good person for what it's worth. All right. We're getting closer into that running back breakdown tier. Swole the God. What are you doing? Goes JCM. Last draft, I think JCM went at pick 73. People are getting ridiculous with him. I can't get behind that. I just can't do it. I'll grab Colston Loveland as our first tight end, and we'll just let it ride. Yeah, I'm not there. Can't get there. Won't be there. If you guys are going to draft JCM at 104, you can have him. If he's the guy that causes me to not win money this year, then so be it. I'm not on that train. I think people just drafted it. They just pulled him up too high. All right, what was I doing here? Mooney, Burden. I think I was going to go and grab Burden. We'll get Burden for our sixth wide receiver here. So we did a little bit of a back-to-back Chicago poll here, unintentionally, that they were both the Chicago players. I like taking some shots on some rookies, and these guys have some upside in an offense that could be better. And I don't have a lot of either of these guys, so it feels good to get some pieces of them on a team that I don't have a lot of him on. So don't feel bad at all. I just can't. Joe Mixon, I talked about this earlier. So the GM was talking about how they was non-committal. They asked him, will he play at all this year? And they didn't want to. He dodged the question. Like, there's a world where Joe Mixon doesn't even get on the field this year. So I'm just not drafting him. I'm just out. I don't have a lot of him. I feel like I was ahead of the curve on this. So I'm just going to let him fall and not touch him. There's just certain guys at this point in draft season where we're down to the last week of drafts. There's just guys I won't touch. I want to finish this draft. I don't need to get my guys necessarily. I'm trying to balance some drafts and all that. I'm going to focus on finishing strong with a really healthy strategy and taking guys that I know are going to play, because I want to eliminate teams that have a chance of having dead roster spots. There was an article I read last year after the season that reviewed number of teams who made it to the finals and the average number of dead roster spots in the finals, and I forgot what that was, but it was like 2 maybe, or 1 or 2 dead roster spots on Best Ball Mania finals teams. So you can't go into the season pretty much guaranteeing or taking a chance that you're already going to have one. So why take that risk? We know who's going to play at this point. So just pick those players. Don't get funny, like, don't get cute. All right, I want Javonte Williams here because Washington plays Dallas week 17, and I want to bring back, and I need another running back anyway. So this is the time when I want to grab him if he goes, and we miss him, then I'll take Jake Ferguson. And actually, I might even take both here, if I'm being honest. All right, we'll take Javonte. Only because he goes first. And then we'll probably, I was going to say he would be our backup person. Come on, Gibby Jones. Gibby needs a wide receiver, something fierce. And he takes a third quarterback, but the man's sitting here with 4 wide receivers. I'm not really sure what he's thinking. I feel like he's on auto. Now he took his 4th quarterback. Yeah, Gibby Jones here. Feels bad. You're on auto. By the way, if you don't know this, good. We'll take Jake Ferguson here. That feels great because now I've got a double bring back for Washington, and that makes me feel really, really good, really strong about week 17. Really like how this team has turned out. I liked my last team a little better so far, but I do like this team. So like, if you don't know this, you can go into drafts, into your rankings, and you can go into a menu that sets your roster maximums, or they call it set your limits. And when you go in and set your limits, you can say on any team, I don't want any more than 3 quarterbacks, no more than 3 tight ends, no more than 8 wide receivers, no more than 6 running backs, etc. Whatever you want it to be. So if you get stuck auto drafting, it will make sure that you at least draft a team that follows a reasonable build, so you don't end up with, oh, I only had 3 running backs and I have 5 tight ends on my team. If you don't set limits and you accidentally auto draft, then you can get in trouble. So if you did not know that, fun fact for you, you can go in and set limits and make sure that you don't get screwed, so to speak. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. I got to close this door. My cat just opened it. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to jump off screen for just a second. All right, I'm back. I've been making some notes for myself for either later this year to test some things with our stream, with our content, and then some things I want to do differently even before next season. And I'm really excited about what that could be like. I don't want to say what that is. So, but I think there's some really cool things that I can do to really make the stream even better for next year. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm going to go Tyler Algier as our 4th running back. And then let's see, what do we want to do here? What to do. Okay. All right. I think I know what I want to do. We're going to take Bryce Young as our 2nd quarterback. Sorry for whoever it is that didn't take him, but he did fall 8 picks past. I do need another quarterback, and I have a plan. And I do like Bryce Young this year, by the way. I don't know how you guys feel about him. I like upside quarterbacks, and he's at the very bottom, and there's nowhere but up for him to go. And they've totally upgraded his offensive line a little bit. They've upgraded his weapons. I'm a big fan of Ted McMillan. They added another running back to their room. I think they continue to upgrade their team. And if Bryce Young shows what he was last year for those final half of the season, and he puts it together for a full season, he's going to crush his ADP. And even if their team isn't any good, he's going to have to throw the ball a lot just to stay in games. So he might just be decent because he's got to throw the ball a lot. And that means good things for a lot of the young guys on their team. And I want to be a part of that, especially where he's going in drafts. He's like free. Free. There goes your man Tesla, by the way. What did I miss? Hold on 1 second. Looking for something. Okay. I see. I was kind of eyeing up Coker, but that's okay. I had a couple of outs that I can work with. We have ways to make stuff work. Come on, Reginald. Another guy with 4 quarterbacks. And he's only drafted as 4th wide receiver. Like, this draft is broken. Broken. I do need one more running back, one more wide receiver. You know what? This makes sense, right? It's a weird way to do it, but let's get Rico Dowdle as our 5th running back. Kind of a weird stack with Bryce Young. He might be the pass-catching running back for Carolina. Who knows? He might be a 3-down back if something happens to Chuba, right? Could happen. You see Leggett being more involved. I do too. Now that they've traded away Thielen, and I don't have much Thielen at all. I think I drafted him in like 2 teams. I think you're going to see it be, that'll be your big 3. You'll have Ted McMillan, Xavier Leggett, and Jalen Coker. And I actually like Coker over Leggett in terms of who I think is a more talented player. But that's not to say that I don't think Leggett could have a great year either. I like Leggett as well. We took Sanders. So that's our 3rd tight end. So we have, let me make sure I got this right. We got 2 more picks left. We have Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young at quarterback, Devon Achane, Jalen Warren, Javonte Williams, Tyler Algier, Rico Dowdle at running back. We have at wide receiver Malik Neighbors, Terry McLaurin, Zay Flowers, Deebo Samuel, Keon Coleman, Luther Burden. At tight end, we have Colston Loveland, Jake Ferguson, and Jatavian Sanders. We're done at tight end. We're probably done at running back. We need at least one more wide receiver. So we either go 2 wide receivers or this could be. No, it can't. I was just going to say I was looking for the Giants to see if Jackson Dart was a potential guy I want to get, but this team took him. And they have 0. This is what I'm talking about. You have Brock Purdy, Tua, and Jackson Dart. You just randomly take Jackson Dart. You take him an extra round in advance. You have no New York Giants to stack him with. Do you even have a Miami or San Francisco player? You have 1 Miami player, and it's Malik Washington. No San Francisco pass catchers. These people. Big mistake. Somebody message these guys. Find a way they need to put a messenger in here and say, hey, listen, here's a link to our YouTube channel. Come on over to Main Event Fantasy. We'll straighten you out, and we'll make you better. We will make you better. Fantasy Dog said Leggett played hurt last year, and then there is the Steve Smith Metcalf take. Yeah. Listen, Leggett's got some talent. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. There's something about Jalen Coker that I think is a underappreciated talent, and I can't get past it. I like him. I just feel good about him. Who wants to get an Amari Cooper share? I do. Get Amari Cooper. And I think I might actually get Russell Wilson. I'm not going to lie. I don't have a lot of Russ, but I might get him. Do I need another wide receiver? I don't need another running back, I don't feel. Do I need another receiver? I mean, if we're playing this team like we're going to win, Washington's going to crush it anyway, right? Theoretically. You know what? I kind of feel like I need another receiver just in case. And we have an elite quarterback. I need to stay true to myself. I'll take Ishivash. So we're going to finish with a 2-5-8-3 build, Washington, Carolina. Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, quarterback. and we did get a little bit of stacking with them. So I don't love this team. I like my last team better. I liked how it started, but I don't like how it finished. But that's okay. Not my favorite draft, but there are worse things to do. Fancy Dog says Coker is good. Yeah, I think he's got some talent for sure. Any more Jacoby news? So not that I know of. He's still there. He still has left to wanting a trade. Last I saw, and I haven't heard any other news otherwise. I will look here in a second. Real quick, we're gonna do another Best Ball Mania. We got 16 more to do. If you want to join, I'll give you a quick countdown and see if you can get in here with us. All right, we're going to do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're in it. One more spot available, and that was fast. Boom, we're filled. Very fast. I love it. All right, we're at 6. 6 is my favorite position to draft from. So I'm very, very excited to be in pick 6. All right, let me look up real quick Jacoby Myers and see if there's anything that I missed. But I don't believe that there is. Yeah. Although I just saw an article pop up across my screen. I'm about to take a quick second to read this, and I don't know why. Oh, this is just some beat reporter, wishing and hoping. Somebody said that some beat reporter in New England said that they should that New England should trade and swap Jacoby Myers for Stephon Diggs, meaning they think that Jacoby Myers would be better and is a better player than Stephon Diggs. I'm just gonna laugh at that. I don't care that he's a little bit older. I think that's still stupid to make, but that's just me. Your favorite two, JJ7, CMC6, right? I'm not. So like I like JJ. Who actually did I miss him? Oh no, he's here. I like JJ at 6, 7, 8, anywhere. Like, I won't take CMC until everybody else, like the first 6 are gone. So like right here, it's going to be Saquon or Justin Jefferson all the way. CMC, I won't take until, pick 7 and beyond, and the other 6 have to go. If any of these first 6 are left, I'll take them first. I will say, like, I don't think I've said this before, but like, fun fact, I think my favorite player in the NFL right now, in terms of someone who I think is just truly like a cheat code, is actually Justin Jefferson. I love watching that guy play. I love the way he does his routes. I love his attitude. He is one of my favorite players to watch. I am a little nervous that he had an Achilles issue earlier. I am a little nervous that he has a rookie quarterback, basically. And I'm a little nervous because I don't think J.J. McCarthy's any good. Because I watched him in college because I hated him because he played for that other team that, I don't care for because I'm an Ohio State fan. But I can't, listen, he's broken out and had dominant seasons with 2 different quarterbacks. A guy that was almost run out of the league last year, and Sam Darnold, who revived his career, and then an old aging veteran in Kirk Cousins. So I just believe Justin Jefferson's so good. It doesn't matter who's his quarterback. Throw it near him and feed him, and he'll make it happen. But that may just be me, but that's my take on him. Shamrock says you have the second pick in redraft, maybe Bijan, maybe JJ. Yeah, if it's is it a 12 team or a 10 team, Shamrock? And are you PPR or half PPR? Oh, give me A.J. Brown. Let him fall to 19. Nope. I do have a team with Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown. All right. Well, that's no fun. I've already shared that I'm not taking Bowers anymore where he goes. So I'm going to just move on down the line. I'm going to take Bucky. And we'll see what comes back to us. 12-team PPR. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what you feel best about. Generally speaking, in your regular redraft leagues, I like the running backs better because the wide receivers you can make up for and get plenty of depth. So I like to go like either one running back, one wide receiver. So here's the thing. Like, let me do it this way. If you're at 2, like you kind of got to do like the 2v2, right? You can't just look at it in a vacuum. And we'll see how this draft plays out here in just a second. But like, if you started Bijan, right, like this guy did, your options coming back are, you're probably not going to get McConkey back, but maybe. But it's unlikely. You're going to have Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown, these guys. Maybe Brock Bowers if you're lucky, but unlikely. I think someone will take him. Elite quarterback, I guess. You're right. Is coming back around. I just think that, like, if you take Bijan, who you're going to go Bijan and McConkey and feel good if he comes back? Or Bijan and Tyreek Hill? Bijan, Marvin Harrison? Like, is that the 2v2 you like right there? Like, you want those two? Or would you rather have Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor? Justin Jefferson, Josh Jacobs? Like, what two sound better to you, right? If you kind of look at it that way. I wouldn't think about one player. I'd think about what 2v2 you like better. That's how I would choose to look at it. Speaking of how you choose to look at it, yes, I'm grabbing T. Higgins. I realize that I've been saying that I don't like T. Higgins where he goes in drafts. But I don't get a lot of T. Higgins in general, and I'm getting him in the 3rd round. 5 picks past his ADP. So I am going to take a piece of him here because I just don't have a lot of him, and he actually came down to a little more of a value for me. Gibbs. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's really up to you if you like Gibbs better, Bijan better, Barkley better. I like Gibbs 3rd. I like Bijan, Barkley, Gibbs in that order, but Bijan and Barkley are very close to me because I think they're true anchor, like workhorse backs, where Gibbs still has Montgomery to face. I mean, Barkley's really not going to lose work to Will Shipley unless he gets hurt. He's not. I mean, he'll lose a little, but he's not a 50-50 split like Gibbs might be, or 60-40. Bijan is going to lose a little bit of work to Algier, but he's still, like last year, was over 300 carries. I mean, he was pretty much a workhorse back. So, like, I'd rather take the guys who are true workhorses first before I take Gibbs. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I think if it were me and I was on the clock, I probably would end up with Bijan Robinson just because I will. Because I think I'd probably end up with a double. Like, I might go Bijan if it were me. I'm just thinking out loud. Oh, hang on 1 second. We're about to be on the clock. My bad. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go Worthy. And then let me see what comes back. I think if it were me and I was at 2, I would do Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor, or Bijan Robinson, Chase Brown, Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs. Bucky's not my favorite. So one of these 3, I would try and do those 2 together, let it come back around, get Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, let it come back around, and then go 3 or 4 wide receivers in a row, punt tight end. I'll stream it later, right? and there's plenty of wide receiver options, and you'd have double anchor RB coming out. You'd feel really good about that. You'd have an elite quarterback. I'll tell you this, in my redraft leagues, I go for elite quarterback every time. So not every time, I shouldn't say that, but I won't reach on them, but I will try and target them. Yeah, Shamrock said, doing a bunch of mocks and the wide receivers fall to me in the second are not easy clicks. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the wide receivers in the second. I love the wide receivers in rounds 3, 4, 5. So I have no problem. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier in the stream, which is I want to crush wide receivers in rounds 3, 4, 5. And I really don't want to draft these running backs here. I don't. So the only things I like in 3, 4, 5, other than the wide receivers, is the elite quarterbacks. It's the only other thing I like. So I'm going to want to go either anchor RB or double anchor RB, and then smash, get an elite quarterback and then smash wide receiver for the next 4 rounds. At least that's what I'm trying to do in my redraft leagues. And I will punt tight end and stream it because it's so easy to stream. And I think tight end's getting deeper every year with acceptable tight ends that you can use and play the matchups. You just get 2 in your redraft league. You get 2 on your team, and you'll feel good. What are we gonna do here? DJ Moore? Yeah, we'll go DJ Moore. Why not? So yeah, that would be me. As we talk this out, that would be what I would do. Shamrock said, yeah, a lot of wide receiver values later. Also, I should mention my league reaches on elite quarterback sometimes in the first round. Oh boy. I don't know how long to be left by my second pick. Listen, if they're going to reach on elite quarterbacks in the first round or even in the second round, let them do it. Say thank you and scoop up massive values is what I would do. I mean, even if you ended up getting Joe Burrow in the 4th, who cares? Great. Do that. Or the 5th, something like that. Like that, even that would be fine. But I'm not going to take an elite quarterback in the first 2 rounds. It's not going to happen. It's going to be round 3 or later. And if my league mates want to go reaching, then I'm just going to let them. And it'll be their problem and not mine. I think that's the mistake that a lot of players make in their regular home leagues is when they're drafting players, they get so honed in on, oh, well, this is my favorite player. This is my favorite team. Or, I want to outsmart my friend. I know he likes Josh Allen, so I'll take him early so he doesn't get him for fun, so I can kind of pick on him. I mean, that's all great, but then good luck winning you're setting yourself up to make it harder, down the road. Just let your league mates screw it up because, half of them will. Let them give you the gift. I'm totally taking Rashee Rice here at 67 if he falls. No, we're going to have oh yeah, we're doing this. I don't mind having Rashee Rice as my 5th wide receiver. I really, really don't. And then we'll come back and try and get the double stack with Patrick Mahomes. If Rice is now going to miss the first 6 weeks, they negotiated that today or yesterday. So he's going to miss 6 weeks in the beginning of the season, which I'd rather have that. And then I think this set of wide receivers is more than enough to carry the weight for 6 weeks where I'm not going to be out of the playoff run. And when he comes back, he could be what I need to push in the fantasy football playoffs. So that's where I'm at. Shamrock said, yeah, let the values fall to me at the second pick. I like that. Definitely see that happening. Yeah, I mean, you got to enjoy your league. You got to enjoy what you do. You got to enjoy your team. You don't want to go into the year and not feel good about what you've done. But I know I've had teams, and I've done this in the past where I get player centric or really like strategy centric or something like that, and the room starts going crazy, and you panic because you don't have a plan. You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan, and you got to know what's going to happen if you don't. You know, if you have to adjust, how are you going to adjust? And when I have these two Kansas City players, I am not going to mess around here at 78 and push it because there is a non-badge drafter here with no quarterback, this guy with no quarterback, another non-badge drafter with no quarterback, no quarterback, no quarterback. You know, so the chance of him coming back to me are really slim. So I will definitely be taking him here. We are not going to chance it. So we'll grab Mahomes, double stack him with Worthy and Rice, and we feel pretty good. This is a little bit similar to what we did in the last draft with the double stack with the quarterback, except this is not necessarily a true elite quarterback. Shamrock said, who's your favorite elite quarterback this year? My favorite elite quarterback this year is Josh Allen. He has, when you look at the last 6 years, Josh Allen has been the best overall quarterback for the last 6 years. He's been 1 or 2 the last 6 years. And he's doing it with a subpar wide receiver room who are just B+ players. Kind of like Mahomes was earlier on in his career with a bunch of randoms. Although, in fairness, that's a little different. Never mind. I take that back. Mahomes had Tyreek Hill for a while. So, and he had Travis Kelce. But yeah, I like Josh Allen the best. I actually think that, you know, I'm fine with Lamar. I'm okay with Jaden Daniels. I actually really like Jalen Hurts as probably my second favorite. He goes around later. Most of the time he goes around 4. So I can get another good pick in round 3, still get an elite quarterback in round 4, and I think he's going to throw more this year. So I actually like Jalen Hurts next over the other 2 guys. I wouldn't take Hurts in round 3, but I like him because he goes in round 4. You guys already know when you're looking at my screen, you see my man Jaylen Warren is sitting up here. If he's still here, he will be our selection at 91. And boom. So he'll be our second running back with Bucky Irving being our first. So we have Patrick Mahomes, quarterback, Bucky Irving, Jaylen Warren. Wide receiver, we have Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice. We double stacked Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. Have you been watching Hard Knocks on both? I have. I think the 4th episode's out, right? Is there a 5th already? I mean, I watched 3 episodes, and I think I might have like 15 more minutes in the 3rd episode. I fell asleep. I mean, I was really tired when I watched the 3rd one. But I love Hard Knocks. There's also, if you've not watched this yet, on Netflix, there is 2 seasons of a show called Quarterback. And it's actually made by Peyton Manning and crew. And it's really well done. So if you haven't seen that, highly encourage it. And they kind of follow 3 quarterbacks both years and their journeys through the season, throughout the entire season. And it's actually really good series. My wife saw me watching it, and she's seen Hard Knocks like while I'm watching it before, and that sometimes catches her attention briefly. But when she's seen, when she saw Quarterback, she actually watched that with me. So. Mark Andrews goes. I was looking at Mark Andrews, but instead we'll take Cooper Kupp. We'll see what comes back to us. They made a fantasy football movie also on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's out yet. Really? I didn't hear. If you find out what the movie's called, y'all gotta post that in the comments, or like after the video or something. Post that in the comments, and we'll have to see if we can figure that out. By the way, might as well take a quick pause and just remind everyone to please throw a like and a subscribe on the video and on the channel. For those who don't know, we go live every single night. Well, I shouldn't say every single night. Almost every single night between 9 p.m. Central Time and midnight, drafting here on Underdog Fantasy. The likes go a long way. We're almost at 250 subscribers. We might be there. I have to check, but we're very close at 248. And then we'll have to move our goal on up from there. If you've never drafted an Underdog, in the description of all my videos is a link to Underdog Fantasy. You can use my promo code Perfect216 and get 50% off your 50% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. Do not go on Underdog Fantasy for the first time, sign up, and not use the promo code. You get free money. Why? If I came up to you and said, if you join this league, I will give you $50 if you buy in for $100, and I'll give you $50 for free. Don't say, nah, I'm good. Here's $100 anyway. If you're gonna deposit money, get the free money. Use the promo code Perfect216 and get yourself some free money. Do it. Nike called. They said I could borrow their slogan, and just do it. All right, we're coming back around on the clock. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're gonna take Rashad Bateman. That's what we're gonna do. And when we're this deep at wide receiver early on, it makes me feel that much better about Rashee Rice pick, because missing 6 weeks and I have this much depth at wide receiver, it should not affect us at all. We should feel really, really good about it. Dan, my friend, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. Drop Jaden Higgins or Brian Robinson for Chubb. Jaden Higgins, no. Brian Robinson, I would say probably yes. I would probably today Chubb over Robinson is how I would go. Keep Jaden Higgins. He may be the breakout wide receiver 2, let alone wide receiver 1 on a pass-happy offense in Houston. Keep him on your bench. See what he does. But definitely, I think I would choose Chubb over Robinson. You have CMC. Got it. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you have CMC, it's a risk, right? But, you don't win championships without taking risk. If you have CMC and he goes down, you've got his immediate backup, right? But even then, he's not going to be a bell cow back. They'll mix in Isaac Guerrero anyway. So it's not like he's going to be a guaranteed, great pick for you, right? And then on the other side of things, it's like you're not going to play them both ever. So, yeah, I would 100% just take Chubb and be happy about it is what I would do. But definitely don't do it with Jaden Higgins. Keep him on your roster. I think Higgins, I don't have that much. I don't have the same faith in Nico Collins as a lot of the market does. And I've shared this on my other streams that I've done, the other live videos I've done. With Nico Collins, he's never had a fully healthy season, so he's going to miss time. And I think Jaden Higgins could be a breakout waiting to happen later in the year. So keep him on your team, and I don't think you'll regret it. Shermack says, oh, wait, I think it's about fantasy soccer. They use football, but it means soccer. Yeah, I definitely won't be watching a Netflix special on fantasy soccer. That's for sure. I mean, maybe at like 3 a.m. if I'm tired and I've had a few too many adult beverages or something, then maybe I could fall into that, but I'd probably fall asleep watching it, if I'm being honest. A couple of quarterbacks go off the board. And we are perfectly okay with that. Let him go. Someone call Frozen because we want to let him go. And I'm no longer drafting Joe Mixon or Brian Robinson Jr. for the rest of the year. I'm out on them. I'll let everybody else. If they went to round 18, I would draft them. Let me take that back, but they won't. So take a share of Tank Bigsby here as our running back 3. This team's turning out pretty good. We've stacked Justin Jefferson with J.J. McCarthy. We've double stacked Mahomes with Worthy and Rashee Rice. I feel really good. And we've got my guy, Jaylen Warren. We've got an anchor running back in Bucky. I like this team so far. We'll see how it finishes out. Rate the 10-man, Kyler, Bijan, Chase Brown, Tyreek, JSN, Kittle, Ridley. So I like your running back room's fantastic. Huge upside. And it's a 10-man league, but you've got double anchor, both pass catchers. Could be I mean, they're going to be bell cow style backs, right? And most likely. So that's great. Tyreek, JSN, Ridley in the wide receiver room isn't necessarily the best, but you have high upside. Not a whole lot of target competition in Tennessee. If Ridley's dust, that's a little bit of a concern. If Tyreek's hurt or they can't stay healthy, that's a concern. Kittle is a great value where he goes, a tight end. Could smash this year. Love Kittle. So, and JSN, I think, is going to have a good year. So I think your team's great for a 10-man. And Kyler's got legs. He might run a little bit more. So at least you got a quarterback who's somewhat mobile. So I think you did a really nice job. Not seeing how the board, fell. I think you did a really good job there. You should feel really proud. All right. We have this thing called 0 tight ends. And we're going to need to solve for that real quick. Let's see what we do there. Holly Walsh. See this, you can't do this. You have 4 wide receivers and you're in round 13. You're not going to win. It's not going to happen. There, you've lost too much. We're going to go Kyle Pitts as our first tight end. And when we go Kyle Pitts at this late with our tight end, we will get 3 tight ends on this team. That will be a for sure thing. And I'm thinking we're going to end up with a 3-5-7-3 build is where my head's at right now, but we'll see how it plays out. How has Jacoby's value shifted with the trade rumor news? Not much. He's fallen down just a little bit. But I've actually, with Cooper coming on the team because Amari Cooper signed, with Jacoby still there and upset, you have Brock Bowers, you have Ashton Genty, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, who I like. I don't like the Raiders at all anymore, other than Bowers I'm okay with, and I love Ashton Genty. I'm just not drafting Jacoby Myers anymore either, really, unless he falls. I've got enough of him where if he does a good job, I've got him on enough teams where I'm comfortable. But yeah, I'm out. He's another guy I'm kind of out on. And I would not take a guy like Jacoby Myers in any regular home league, like your regular redraft leagues. I wouldn't touch him. He's not on my draft list. He's not even draftable. All right, we're going to get Hunter Henry as our second tight end. Staying balanced in the room. Other 10-man, Jalen Hurts, CMC, Kamara, Neighbors, Nico, Ingram, then Pollard, Diggs for flex. So CMC, Kamara, Pollard. I like your other running back room better than this one. I like Hurts a ton, so I think that's fantastic. I'm a big Neighbors guy. I'm not as big in a Nico, but I think he's still good on your team. Ingram has good upside, so I think you did you have a fine tight end there, and I'm okay with Diggs. So like, I think your wide receiver room's pretty good. I think it's a little bit better here than the last one. I think you have a lot of risk in your running back room here. Overall, I like the other team better. I think it's a more complete team for me. But if CMC's healthy, Kamara's healthy, and doesn't fall off an age cliff, if Nigo stays healthy, like you have a very older, hopefully I stay healthy team with that one. That's like the, get everybody on that team the icy hot patch because they're all going to be sore. Let them know they're a little sore over there. I know it's probably a bad joke. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Which, by the way, if y'all did not hear about Najee Harris, he is not going to be on the NFI list, and they're talking about him being available week 1 now. So, or at least practicing week 1, if nothing else. He can open his eye now magically and all that other stuff. So, for people like me who were drafting a lot of Najee Harris earlier on, I'm excited about that because I like Najee Harris. I like the Chargers. So, and if Hampton doesn't do what everyone thinks and hopes he can do with his opportunities, then he's a great pick later in drafts like we're getting here. I don't care if he's got one eye and he winks at people as he runs them over. That's fine too. Get to it, Mostert late for me. Yeah, I have a couple sprinkles is all I'll say with Raheem Mostert. I think he's 32 this year. So wide receivers, running back. I mean, he had here's the problem. I didn't like drafting him when he was in Miami in 2023 because he was in his year 30 going into 31 season. Now he's even older. And he just happened to have an amazing, like, if you compare running backs that year in 23 that had the same age 30 season that he had, they all regressed in their performance. None of them broke out. That was an anomaly year, and the data shows it. So the chances of him being that great or relevant is so slim at this point. But I took a couple pieces of him because he's still, I mean, what if he's got a little bit of juice? He is a pass-catching capable running back. They don't have a whole lot behind him if Gentry doesn't perform or gets hurt. So, I don't think it's terrible. All right, Chris Rodriguez, we get you on another team, my friend. Come on down. What are we doing here? What are we doing? We need one more tight end probably. And you know what? We'll get him late. Because I'm going to grab a share of Noah Gray on this team. It's going to happen. So that'll probably end up being my last pick because no one's going to take him. And then we're going to probably be done at running back, done at quarterback. So the question is, do we do running back or wide receiver? Do I do running back or wide receiver? What room do I feel better about? I think I feel better about my wide receiver room, if I'm being honest. So I think I'm going to get a 6th running back on this team. I like Kendry Miller. I like Kendry Miller as not a long shot, but they New Orleans Saints also released another running back off their team the other day. So that just goes to show me that there's more faith in Kendry Miller and faith in his health. And if Alvin Kamara does fall off a cliff or it can't stay healthy, then Kendry Miller could be an absolute crusher because he does show a lot of juice and talent if he could just stay healthy. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Kendry Miller, 6 running back, take a swing, and then I'm going to get Noah Gray, and then we'll summarize this team, we'll recap it, and then we're going to do one more Best Ball Mania. That's what we're going to do. Shamrock asked, is there any favorite football movies? Oh, that's a loaded question. Actually, the other day I just watched Radio, and I tried to get my 9-year-old to watch it, mostly because of the story and what it means for like a life story, not so much about football. But I mean, there's just so many classic movies. As a Cleveland Browns fan, like I love Draft Day, so I'll do a lot of quotes from the movie Draft Day. Any Given Sunday is a great movie. I mean, there's just so many. I mean, you can think of, you've got Remember the Titans, you've got We Are Marshall. I mean, there's so many good football movies. What about you guys? What are some of your guys' favorite football movies? What are some of your favorite football movies? Type that in the chat. Let's talk about it. Rudy, yeah, that's a classic. I love Rudy. Absolute classic. Your meme, bro. All right, Noah Gray, come on down. Got to get you on a team. So, recapping the team, we got Patrick Mahomes, J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. Running back, we got Bucky Irving, Jaylen Warren, Tank Bigsby, Najee Harris, Chris Rodriguez, Kendry Miller. Wide receiver, we have Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, Cooper Kupp, Rashad Bateman. Tight end, Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry, Noah Gray. We triple stacked KC. Noah Gray, Rashee Rice, and Worthy are all stacked with Patrick Mahomes. J.J. McCarthy is stacked with Justin Jefferson. Minnesota plays Detroit in Week 17. We do not have a Detroit player, so we don't have any advantage there. And Kansas City plays the Denver Broncos in Week 17, so we did not get a Week 17 correlation there. But overall, I still kind of like this team. I don't love it like, oh my gosh, I'm going to win $2 million, but maybe I'm going to win $500,000. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Shamrock said he saw orchestrated music perform live with the movie playing. That's pretty cool. Was that like something held at like a live outdoor thing or something like that? Like where did you see that at? All right, where am I at? So do I stop here with 15 more left in best ball, or do I do another one? It is, how full is this thing now? 88.4%. Let's see. Let me look up my thing. Otherwise, I'll do a pointer. Let me see real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. I'm gonna draft a bunch there. I can stream tomorrow, Saturday, probably not Sunday. Monday, yes. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, yeah, I can do another Best Ball Mania. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're feeling good. I'm in. Three spots open for another Best Ball Mania. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna rock it out one more tonight. This will be a 4. I think this is gonna be a 4 team tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. You saw it at the Microsoft Theater in LA, right next to where the Lakers play. Met Sean Astin, the guy who played Rudy. Yeah. That's awesome. That's got to be fun. That's one of those movies that's kind of like it's just a classic that I think people need to Should appreciate. We got the 112 again. That's the second time tonight we've had the 112. Not my favorite pick, but we know what we're going to do when we get to 112. At the 112, based on what I've shared, my strategy is now at this year. This is going to end up turning into a double running back build is most likely going to be. I mean, a double running back start is what I'm thinking. But we'll see. We'll see what falls our way. Oh, man. Take Bo Callahan as your first quarterback. Yeah, man. When the Browns traded dumped Kenny Pickett away or whatever, like everybody was, all the memes for, trading people were like, when he's in the room, Kevin Costner's in the room, like in draft day, and he's like, I want all my picks back, and I want David, enter curse words here, Putney. And so every time somebody says, oh, what should we get for so-and-so or whatever, like the ongoing joke continues to be like, I want blah, 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 and I want David blank, blank Putney. I can't say it on stream. I don't want YouTube to kick me off here. So who's going to be your starting quarterback? Anybody but Bo Callahan. Don't want him. We do not want Bo. And man, it's so hard sometimes being a Cleveland Browns fan. I love football in general, but I am loyal to my teams. Loyal to a fault. But it's hard to be a Browns fan. All right. Genty went at 7. Okay. Kind of ruins my plans. It's not what I wanted to see happen. Is Neighbors going to make it to 12? Of course not. Why would they do that to me? All right. We're going to pivot what I just said I was going to do. And we're going to do Drake London and A.J. Brown instead. I'm going to shake it up. Drake London, A.J. Brown start. So this makes it a little bit unique because both of these guys normally go in round 2. Not, so they're never going the same team, which means I just created for myself. I forced a unique stack that most people will not have because they both go in round 2 and neither one of these guys are picked in round 1. So when we do stuff like that, if I value London and AJ Brown similar to these guys, then it's okay to do that. And we've given ourselves, we've given our team a little more extra value because it's more unique than the other teams that we'll be picking there. Like there will be a ton of teams that have Malik Neighbors and Puka or AJ Brown and, Neighbors or AJ Brown London or, any of these weird combinations, Brian Thomas, all that. Plenty of teams that can make that happen, but not a lot of people reaching far enough down to make that London AJ Brown team start happen. I will say there's a lot of talk. I talked about it earlier. So for those of you that just joined or did not hear, the right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons is out for the season, and he's with Michael Penix being a left-handed quarterback. The right tackle is the blind side. So Las Vegas odds have them now moved Atlanta's offensive ranking from middle of the NFL down to, I think, rank the bottom, just outside the bottom 10. I think they're like the 11th worst team in the league now in offense based on projections, just because they lost their right tackle. And so some people are saying, well, then that affects Bijan Robinson, that affects Drake London, etc. So depends on how people look at it or how you feel about it. But I understand why people would say that. But I still like Drake London. And I still like Bijan. The only other kind of unique team that's on here is Achane and Bucky Irving is a little bit unique because Bucky normally goes more on the left side of the board and Achane normally goes on the right. So that's a little unique. But I don't think Pop the Drop realizes that. I think he just picked guys he likes. But we'll see if he can actually make it work for himself. All right, we're coming back around. Let's see what we want to do here. Actually, I know what I want to do here. I know exactly what I want to do here. I am going to take Jalen Hurts. And Devonta's. No, I'm not. I'm not. Am I going to do that? Am I really going to be that crazy? No, I'm not. I'm going to take Ted McMillan. I almost forced it. I stopped myself from being too crazy. But we did stack him with A.J. Brown. I like that. I feel better about what I just did than forcing a double stack with Devonta Smith. So we have a Jalen Hurts, Drake London, A.J. Brown, Ted McMillan start. The problem with this start is we're weak at running back. And you've heard me say earlier, I like to start anchor or double anchor. And I've done neither of those now. So we'll see if we can make this thing work. We're kind of going to be forced to look at running back in picks rounds 5 and 6 when there's some pretty nice wide receivers there, because we probably need to get at least one in the next round or two. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of watching this Pop the Drop team to see if he can build this somewhat unique team out and see what he does with it. Hopefully you guys are all set to have yourself a awesome 3-day weekend. I don't know if you guys had to work on the holiday weekend, but hopefully everybody gets a little bit of a break. I think we could all use it sometimes. And as we're all prepping for the regular season, no time like the present, right? By the way, quick update. If anybody has not heard, Micah Parsons has been traded to the Green Bay Packers, which is crazy. They got 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark in that trade to Dallas. And then they signed Parsons to the largest non-quarterback contract in history, $188 million for 4 years, $120 million guaranteed at signing. So he gets what he wants. He goes to the Packers on a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl now. The Cowboys get 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. And Kenny Clark's a solid player. And who knows if this is going to mean that, like, if it's a good decision or not. It all depends on how well does Micah Parsons actually play, over the next few years of that contract. And what do those other first round picks do that Dallas gets to see which side wins that deal. Face Dog said, "Hey Shamrock, Underdog hasn't X'd out a draft where number 1 spots first 4 picks were Minshew and 3 backup quarterbacks. That is so wrong. Collusion? Oh, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, it's got to be collusion. I mean, I guess it could be, but if it's really, really bad, Underdog will kick that out. I have not noticed any of my drafts being kicked out this year. However, last year I had a bunch of Underdog drafts where they gave me my money back and they kicked out the draft because it looked like, I don't know if it was collusion or just really bad drafts, but they had a bunch last year where they kicked them out. This isn't really about to happen, is it? Smith's not going to come back to me at 60 and let me double stack Hurts, right? Big Bad Ballad's not, but he's going to take him here. That's what's going to happen. There's no way he gets past him. Oh, we got sniped at the last second. Oh, I got a little excited there in my soul. Can you imagine? We were about to take him. We chose not to reach for him, and he almost made it all the way back to us at freaking pick 60. That would have been absolutely disgusting. Would have been disgusting is what that would have been. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm going to go Matthew Golden here as our fourth wide receiver. That would have been crazy. I was getting a little too prematurely excited. Said they haven't after 3 days for that draft. Yeah, I hope they do, but I don't think they were doing it as much this year as last year. I feel like. But I guess the other thing too, though, is like even if that happened and there's that, we'll call it collusion, like unless it caused a true like just a dominant team to happen, like somebody took a bunch of garbage, like 2 or 3 players, and then that allowed one guy to have just a super ridiculous team. If one guy drafts poorly, he's not even going to be in your pod most likely anyway, because who you draft with isn't who's in your pods. You know, you're going to get random. It's going to be randomized anyway, and it's probably going to be out in the regular season, and it won't matter, right? So probably won't matter at all as long as nobody else in that room got like, oh, Josh Allen fell to the 5th round because they colluded so much that he's, and they were able to get Josh Allen the 5th or something, like something crazy like that. I don't know. I said there should be an ADP mathing period. There might be, there might be some sort of formula. And I would be sure they have an AI or a formula or something that's scrubbing these things that says, hey, red flag, here's what happened in this draft. This looks fishy. It's not normal. Please investigate, right? And then they go look at it. I think that's probably what happens because there's no way they can look at all these drafts, right? So there has to be either a draft that gets reported or there's got to be an algorithm that gets ran by their system in the background that says, hey, this looks fishy. And I would assume that's how they catch it. But that does sound like the kind of thing where like someone would probably like they should catch that. Like that feels like one you want to look at, Oh, and no name. Yeah, that's definitely weird. All right, 11 picks left before we're up again. I did just realize that I do have 2 Carolina players on one team, which I don't hate, but we're getting into a position where I might need to work a little harder at the running back position to make myself feel better. But we'll see. We will see. Holly Walsh. I thought it said Holly or Holy Wash. I guess the eyes were blinding me for a second. Speaking of washes, I could use a car wash. I need to work on that. I had to drive 2.5 hours today to a meeting in the rain, and then drove 2.5 hours back. And it was still raining. And all I kept thinking about the day prior, I kind of cleaned out my car with my kids' stuff and whatever, and kind of vacuumed and whatever. But I wanted to take it for a car wash, and I didn't get a chance to do that. But I guess thankfully we didn't because it was raining all day today. But I do still need a car wash. Young ain't a bad backup. Killer playoff schedule. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier. I actually have a lot of Bryce Young. this year because he's the last good quarterback on the list, right? In terms of where he gets drafted. So he can only outperform where he is. As long as he doesn't get benched, the guy's going to be better than where he gets drafted. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I think their offense is going to be better this year. That's just my opinion. And I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. You know, I don't love these options per se. I'm going to go Tyrone Tracy and get a share of him. I just really don't like Caleb Johnson. I didn't like him as a prospect. He's third on the depth chart. There's something I just don't see anything that I like about him, other than the fact that he's a rookie. I mean, it's not like he has early draft capital. He doesn't. He was a mid-round draft pick. He's third on the depth chart. He's behind Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, who both have proven that they are capable of both pass catching, pass blocking, rushing, goal line, etc. Like, they don't need him per se. And I don't know that he's talented enough to just beat them both out. So I just don't like where he's going. And I feel like I'm in the minority here. But I did watch a video. I watched a video today. I think it was from the guys over at Fantasy Life. Might have been Fantasy Pros. But anyway, they were doing a video on seven players you should not draft this year. And normally when I watch videos like that where, oh, don't draft these, or you got to draft these guys, they're going to crush your league or whatever. You know, I may be 50-50. Like, if they have 5 guys or 6 guys, I like 3 of their picks and I agree with their takes on them, right? Or vice versa. In this video, I agreed with 6 out of 7 of the guys who said don't touch. I think Caleb Johnson, I think, was on the list, but I could be wrong. Aaron Jones was on the list, which I agreed with. I don't take much of him. Jacoby Myers was on the list. Who else was on the list? I'm trying to think of other guys that they were saying that you shouldn't take. But long story short, this whole year, a lot of we'll call it experts that are saying, oh, don't draft these guys or draft these guys. I feel like I've been pretty much in similar takes on a lot of them, which I don't know if that's good or bad. Either I'm just getting sharper and they're all seeing what I'm seeing, or I'm seeing what they're seeing, or it's just irony. The one guy that was on their list that I didn't agree with was Travis Etienne. I'm not there on him. I think James Conner was on the list, and I kind of agree with James Conner because I like Trey Benson. Andrews goes at 102. All right, let's see what we've got coming back around that's going to be available to us here. We have some options at wide receiver that I like. We really we don't need any of these receivers at the moment. And I kind of have quarterbacks. So I'm thinking we need to get at least 1 wide receiver here, possibly 2. And I'm thinking we get a tight end. And I think I know what I want to do. We'll see if it happens. Darnell Mooney is back to practice, by the way, if anybody cares at all. Darnell Mooney is back to practice. Tell your friends. Okay, we're going to get Tucker Kraft as our first tight end. And we're going back to, Rashad Bateman again as our 5th wide receiver. So we started out Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Chuba Hubbard, Jordan Mason, Tyrone Tracy at running back, Wide receiver, we have Drake London, A.J. Brown, Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden, Rashad Bateman, and tight end, we have Tucker Kraft. Team looks pretty balanced, pretty solid. I like how we've built it so far. We just have to finish it up and see where it goes. Vincent, I'll get a step. Go get him, dog. I appreciate you, my friend. Listen, have a great Friday. And looking forward to talking with you tomorrow night and this weekend as we finish out before the league year starts. And if we can do that massive buy-in draft, I hope you can be a part of it. Do. Oh, man. I love these articles that come out where people talk about, oh, here's our top rankings for whatever. And Yahoo Sports keeps posting these things about their favorite players and their rankings. Like they have Bijan like their top running backs are Bijan Robinson 1, Barkley 2, Gibbs 3. I agree with that. McCaffrey 4, Henry 5, Ashton Genty 6, Josh Jacobs 7. I mean, they start to get a little bit crazy as they go down. Taylor, Chase Brown, Bucky Irving, Kyron Williams, Hampton, Cook, Walker, Kamara, Hubbard, Connor, Breece Hall at 19. I don't know. I don't really know that I agree with their takes, but that's okay. I like their first 3. Oh my gosh. All anybody's going to talk about is the Micah Parsons trade at this point, though. I'm a little bit surprised, but I'm not. I told my friend, he's a big Cowboys fan. I said the Cowboys are going to become the Cleveland Browns. And so as a Browns fan, it's kind of ironic that we're having that conversation. All right. So where the hope here is that Jordan Love comes back so we can double stack him with Matthew Golden and Tucker Kraft. He'll be our last quarterback when we have Jalen Hurts. And we do have Baltimore, Rashad Bateman in Baltimore for the Week 17 bring back. So that would fit really, really perfectly into this team. All right. It happens. It worked out good. That is perfect. And then we'll follow that up with, we could either go Josh Palmer or one of these beautiful running backs or receivers. I think I'm going to go with the running back here. And I'm going to go and do an Austin Eckler share. He's currently the wide receiver. Wide receiver. Austin Eckler is now the running back 1 on their depth chart. I don't think I think it's going to be a committee approach for sure. But maybe Eckler's got a whole lot more juice left in the tank than we realize, and he'll be an extreme value. I doubt it. It's extremely unlikely. The data and facts say, the history tells us it's unlikely, but you know what? Let's do it. Ride it and see what happens. Real quick, if you can, throw a like on the video. I appreciate it. And subscribe. I go live every night between 9 p.m. and midnight, or almost every night between 9 p.m. and midnight. We are drafting an Underdog Fantasy. These are best ball teams. If you want to draft with us, you can. You can draft with us live. You can put a comment in the chat. You can talk about it live with us. ask any questions you have. In the description of my videos, I do have a link you can click on, and it'll take you to Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code PERFECT216 when you do your first deposit, and you will get a 50% deposit bonus. Don't give up free money. You would be foolish to do that. Even if you just put in $50, you get $25 for free. You put in $100, you get $50 for free. Don't give up free money. But I think you will find you will be addicted to drafting teams on Underdog. And so if you're trying to finalize your teams and get ready for your redraft leagues at home, instead of doing mock drafts with a bunch of bots and a bunch of simulations that aren't real people, try drafting with real people who are trying to win real money like this, like we're trying to win right here, winning $2 million for first place. These people are going to draft like real people. They will make you better. Come draft with us here, and we'll help you become the best drafter you can be, and hopefully we'll all be winning championships together. All right. It's coming back around. We know now we're done at quarterback when we have an elite one in Jalen Hurts. We've got Jordan Love as our second one. Feel good about it. We're very balanced on this team. I'm actually a little surprised at these guys being still here. Although in fairness, I said that before. I just had bad deja vu. All right, let's see what we have come back around to us. I would love to get any combination of these two. I don't know that will happen, but we'll see. Crazier things have happened. We almost got Devonta Smith at pick 60. That would have been even crazier. Hunter Henry goes 149. All right, so there's Benson. Can we survive Dallas Goedert and Romeo Doubs? Can we make it? I'm going to say no. I think Murph will take Dallas Goedert because he doesn't have a tight end, and I think he will take him. But if he doesn't, and we make it past him, I feel pretty confident Dallas Goedert will be ours. Let's see what he does. He did it. I said he would. He did it. Feels bad. All right, at least leave us somebody. Leave us Romeo Doubs. Let us triple stack Green Bay. All right, take Doubs, triple stack Green Bay, and we'll feel good about it. And then I think what we'll do is we'll go Brenton Strange here as our second tight end. And so now we'll be so far at quarterback Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love. Running back Chuba Hubbard, Jordan Mason, Tyrone Tracy, Austin Eckler. Wide receiver Drake London, A.J. Brown, Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden, Rashad Bateman, Romeo Doubs. Tight end Tucker Kraft, Brenton Strange. We triple stacked Green Bay. It's the first time I think I've done that all year. It was the triple stack for Green Bay. And then Jalen Hurts is stacked up with A.J. Brown. And Green Bay plays Baltimore. So there's a Week 17 bring back for them. I don't have any Buffalo Bills players to bring back for Jalen Hurts and Philly, but I like this team. I really do. I think it's a pretty solid team. It's built to win $2 million. That's for sure. That is for sure. While we're waiting, let's take a quick peek. This is an example I just popped on the screen for you guys. The playoff weeks 15, 16, 17. And this is who they play on the schedule. So this is what I look at. This is my cheat sheet. I try and make sure, if I can, to correlate a Week 17 opponent or someone from those teams with the guys that I'm stacking, because it increases the chances and the upside of winning money in the championship weeks. And if anybody needs that explained more, please don't hesitate to ask questions. There's a big run on wide receivers here. Another wide receiver. Carolina receivers go back-to-back with Leggett and Coker. So we know we need at least one more running back. We know we're done at quarterback. We know we need at least one more wide receiver. So we have options, and then we have 4 more picks left. So 1 running back, 1 wide receiver for sure. And then we've got 2 luxury picks to figure out what the best option is. Smashing Buddha heads. All right. There's a team name I could forget. What did Logan IPA do with our great value pick that he stole when he stole Smith from us? I mean, kind of got Wilson at a value too. I mean, he got some values here. I still like our team better. Still like our team better. All right, we're going to be up in the clock here at pick 180 in just a second. Maybe this is Will Shipley time. Yeah, I think we'll do Will Shipley and Torrey Horton. So now we've got 2 more picks left. We're sitting with a 2-5-7-2 build. So we can go a couple different ways. We know we're done a quarterback. We can get another running back, another wide receiver, or another tight end. I think I'm for sure going to get another tight end. And I don't know whether I feel better about my running back room or wide receiver room. I mean, I guess I could leave tight end alone. I don't know. Might be a bit strong to do that. Do. Oh, excuse me. Got a busy day ahead of me tomorrow, and I just need to pummel through that so we can get into this weekend, which is my birthday weekend. So we'll be excited to got a lot going on this weekend. What do I want to do? What tight ends are left? I mean, none of them are really going to make sense because Philly doesn't have one of those. I could do a Philly wide receiver, but I don't really want to do that. You know, running backs, we could do this. So many options. And then that would be that. And then wide receiver. Tight end we would consider. What would we do here at tight end if we were going to take one? Whew, sorry. I'm fading. I am fading, guys. I guess if I was going to do one of these, it might be this. Then wide receiver. Oops. I shall take Taj Brooks here. We'll let him go at the top. And then oh man. A lot of fives. We'll go and double stack our Philly with Jahan Dotson here. We'll be done. So we triple stacked Green Bay, we double stacked Philly. 2682 Bill, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, running back Chuba, Jordan Mason, Tyron Tracy, Austin Eckler, Will Shipley, Taj Brooks, wide receiver Drake London, AJ Brown, Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden, Rashad Bateman, Romeo Dobbs, Torrey Horton, Jahan Dotson, and then tight end Tucker Kraft and Brenton Strange. So pretty good balanced team. I like it. I can't complain. Maybe not my favorite team I've drafted, but definitely feel good about the team. So, all right, guys, that's it. Thanks again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on the video. Make a comment, share it out. Let's build up the community together. I'm very grateful you guys stopped by. I hope you have an awesome Friday. We'll see you tomorrow night, and we're going to rip some more teams tomorrow. So you guys have yourself a great Friday.